Welcome to the next segment, which is talking about the data preparation and wrangling. And in this segment, this is a very short segment, but very focused segment. This is one of its type of, throughout my career in data analytics and throughout all the sessions that I do, I have seen this as a requirement. So the requirement is that, okay, if I don't have data in one place, if I have got scattered data, can Power BI help me to merge and to bring all the data sets together? So I thought that, okay, this is a very important segment when we are talking about cleansing of data, wrangling of data, mining of data, preparing of the data. It is very important that we have a segment where we show the advanced table operations. So here we have a different type of data set. So if I just move to the data sets primarily, this is Power BI. And when I go to data and if I just take Excel, so I can see that there are three tables actually. One which is sample records related to Africa, one sample records related to Asia, and one sample records related to Europe. Now, I could actually get them one by one into Power BI as an Excel file. And then I can merge, I can do a lot of things with this. But the idea is not the same. What we are going to do is, instead of getting them one by one, we simply go to this option called Get Data. So first of all, let me just show you how the data would look like. So this is, let's say, Africa's data. And we can have region, country, item type, and units sold, all of them. And if you see over here, we have from A to N these columns actually, primarily. Now, if you go to Asia, you will see similar kind of columns, but the data is different actually. So you can see till A to N. So the columns are actually same, and it has to be same if you actually need to connect all these data sources. So now what we will do is, we will go to Power BI, and instead of going to Get Data and say Excel workbook, we are taking a different route altogether. We go to this option called More. So let's focus. We go to More option, and instead of taking Excel as a data source, we go to this option called Folder, and then we say Connect. So now what happens, it is asking for a folder path, and eventually what we will do is, we will browse this folder, and then from the browse section, we will actually go to the folder, so wherever we have taken the folder over here, and then the temp data set, and then this is the folder, the sales records folder, and we say OK. That's what. Eventually we will see how to change this source or change this folder, and what happens if I get new files. So nothing to be done, we have to just refresh the data, and you will see new files are already getting associated into this data model. So what we do is, we go to OK. I just click on OK, and you will be able to see the binary files, the three different files over here. We have an option to combine it from here. We have an option to load directly as well. But what we will do is, we will take you deeper into this particular data segment, and we go to this option called Transform Data. Now when I say Transform Data, you will see that all these three records are here. Now what I will do is, I'll just map it into three segments. The first one, this is sales record. So what will I do is, I will just double click on this sales record, and I will say sales record Africa. So let's say I map it as data for Africa. So now here what we will do is, we will be just replicate this and say duplicate of this. This is Africa. So Africa, I will just take the Africa data. This is Africa data. And then we have the sales records. So we go to this table option, and now what you see is actually region Africa. Now one thing that we need to see over here is that the table columns are not identified. So in this matter, what we will do is, we will just ask Power BI, could you please take my first row, consider my first row as headers? And Power BI says, wonderful, I can do that. Could you please go to the home menu and click on this option which says first row as headers, and you can immediately see the first row is actually mapped as header. Now this becomes my Africa data. So nothing else we have done. So Africa data is there. Now the reason why we actually duplicated this particular Africa data is to get the other data also, which is the Asia and the Europe. So now what we will do, we will make another one which is a duplicate of this, and then we will call this as Asia. So the benefit of this process is because in a folder we have got all the data, so it's just a replication of the original step, and then we are able to gather all the data in one go. So now I say Asia. So here what we need to do is, we know that we have to click on this binary option, and then we say table, and this is where we have got the Asia data, and then the same thing, first row as headers, and we have Asia data. The last but not the least, we have got Africa data, and this is where what we will do is, we will be making it as Europe actually. Europe data. And then we take the Europe binary data table. So now you can see that we have got all the three tables. So Africa, Asia, Europe. We have an option, we can use these three separately also, but for this demo what we are going to do is, we will actually merge them. So we will be merging them and then we will be sorting them actually. So that's an advanced data option that we are going to see. To do this, we have to understand what is the difference between merge and append. So consider that. So the first thing is, whenever you do merge or append, please make sure that the columns are all same. Otherwise this appending or merging will not happen. So the columns needs to be same. Number of record doesn't matter. So tomorrow if you bring a new, let's say, table for, let's say, some other continent or some other location, for Australia for example, make sure that the columns are same. Then only this technique will work. And then what you do is, what do you mean by append? Append means that you are bringing all the data one below another. Merging means what? You are actually collating the data. So imagine there is I would say, let's take an example, some numerical data. If you do merging, then if the records are same, then it will get actually aggregated. But when you say append, even if you have similar kind of data, it will go one below another. So it depends on the use case that you have. Depending on that, you can select merging or appending. For our case, because all the records are different, so whether we do merging or whether we do append, both of them will give me the same number of records and the same output. So we take this example of, let's say, even if you say merge, so I can say merge. There's an option which says merge queries. I have just selected Europe and I'm saying merge queries, and then the other option is talking about merge query as new. This is something very interesting. I need to simply say merge query as new, and then what happens is, it says options. We have got three options, and then we have got fuzzy matching options as well. This is one way of doing it. The other section is, if you simply say go to this option which says append, and you say append query as new, this also will bring similar kind of a table, and it says two tables and it says three tables. Now we have got three tables. So what we will do is, we will go to this option called three or more tables, and then what we will do is, we will take all of the rest. So we have got Europe, we will take Africa, and we will take Asia, and simply we will say OK. So now what has happened, it has actually created a new table, as you can see, append one, and then what we can do is, we can say sales records master, and then we press enter. So this is our master record, and you can see here Europe is there, Africa is there, and then you have got the Asia data. All of them are together. Now as a part of data modeling, or as a part of bringing all these together, what you can do is, this is very important, you don't have to actually load all the other tables because you have got a master table. So what you can do, right click over here and you say no need to enable it for the loading. Same goes with the second one also, and the third one also, you disable the load. And then what you do is, you simply say close and apply, and to your surprise, if you just go to the data segment, you will see one data, which is the master data, and the records are there for all the segments, and you can see country, item, and all these things. If you just go to the data part of it, you will be able to see the region, which is a newly created column, I would say, and then you have got all the records over here, and from here you can actually, because there is only one table, so no need of seeing the model of the data as well, you can just go to the report and start actually developing your visualizations, developing your reports from here. So that was from the perspective of combining, and if you want from this segment, you can actually go ahead and then select it or sort it by country, sort ascending, sort descending, filter it, all these things you can actually do from here, or you can say clear sort. So these are the techniques, these are the concepts that we wanted to discuss in this particular module. So that was from the split, merge and sort option. And the next data that we are going to, the next concept that we are going to talk about is definitely going to be related to the non-Excel data sources. So we will go back to our non-Excel data source, the Northwind data source, in the next module, and we will see the wrangling techniques, and then we will move on to the next module over here. So that's it from this module. Thank you so much. See you at the next module. Thank you.